Casual takes with your boy Steven Pepper, here to give a couple takes off my chest. NBA playoffs is here. I promise you guys I'll be grinding out some content. There's a game on right now that I got to catch after this, Cavs versus Magic, but I want to give these takes off my chest, starting with the play-in game last night, Eastern Conference one, Bulls versus Heat. That was the end of the mid-3 era in Chicago, right? Like, that was the end of the mid-3 era in Chicago, right? I think Bulls fans would agree, but I think they're all praying management will be on the same page. I'd be a little scared because there was an opportunity there at the past deadline when they started the season off rough to kind of get the ball rolling on a rebuild. But all management has done is hold on to every asset and even give out extensions. That is not a good sign when you need to be bad. I understand, listen, Chicago, I understand the core was promising for a brief second. It was a brief second. Chicago, let it go. The injuries and mediocre basketball have taken the train so far off the rails that the Bulls just have to tear it down while all their assets still have some value. The DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic mid-3, not Big-3, mid-3, has played just 5 playoff games in 3 seasons together. The last 2 years have ended in Miami in the play-in game. You can't run it back when you've been 20-balled by a Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier-less Bulls team when you're the 9th seed. You cannot run that back. The agenda in Chicago this summer should be clear. Absolute fire sale. I would keep Io, Kobe, and put a price tag on everyone else and absolutely fire the head coach. Or don't and continue to be the 9th seed. That's fine. But the head coach thing, if you want to keep Levine, you want to keep Vooch, but you absolutely, no excuse. I can't negotiate with you. You got to fire Billy Donovan. The spread last night was 1.5 points, just favoring Miami. And I thought Chicago really had a chance to threaten for that 8th seed. Because without Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier, Chicago had the talent. I know Zach LaVine was injured, but DeRozan, Vucevic, Caruso, Ayo, Kobe, to threaten for that 8th seed, even on the road. But it was a complete coaching mismatch. Billy Donovan looked like he didn't belong on the same floor as Spo. He absolutely last night punched his ticket back to college basketball. That's where he belonged. Complete masterclass by Spo. Slam dunk on Billy Donovan. He had no idea, Billy Donovan, how to get a good look against Miami's defense. Now, to be fair, most coaches, when Miami goes in that zone, they have a hard time getting a couple shots off for a quarter. But no adjustment at all. And they kept letting all these runs. It was 28-6 at one point to end the first quarter on the run by Miami. You would think Billy Donovan would just, call a little timeout. Every time the Bulls would go down 20 or let up a 10-0 run, not a single timeout was called. That was bad. I talked about this over the summer when I was referring to the Angels and their situation with Shohei Ohtani, but I did reference the Bulls because I saw this coming. The writing was on the wall with the Chicago mid-3 last summer. That one of my biggest beliefs in sports is that if a team has a capped ceiling, and we've known it for the last 2 to 3 years now, and they have no chance of raising that ceiling, but they do have some valuable assets, you got to blow it up when you have the chance before your assets leave for nothing or lose all their value. You got to trade DeMar DeRozan now. He's only going to get older, and he's not going to get any better. You had your opportunity this last year. You didn't. Zach LaVine, he's piling up injury after injury. You got to cut him low. I know you just extended Vucevic. I would trade him. Caruso, every championship team in the association would beg for an Alex Caruso to be next to him. You think Milwaukee would want him guarding up next to Damian Lillard to solve their perimeter defense? You'll get a couple first-round picks for that. Because if you hold on to these assets, I understand Chicago doesn't want to be bad. And it'll be another failed flop era for Jerry Reinsdorf post-Michael Jordan. But you're going to be even worse. You're going to be even worse if you let your assets run dry. You can't just wait around and pray for Lonzo Ball. I get it. They were the 1 seed at one point. At one point, it was like January. Not even at the All-Star break. They were the 1 seed for a little bit. Pushing 3 years ago now. They've been playing injured-riddled, mediocre basketball since. They haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 years. 5 playoff games in 3 seasons with a Big-3. You got to cut ties. Get value while your assets have some. Or else, it's not going to be good for Chicago. It's going to be a long, dark rebuild. But they have a chance to rebuild. Get a couple picks for Caruso, DeRozan, Levine, what you can do. Keep Kobe White, Ayo, and go to a new era, because the Big-3 era, back-to-back years missing the playoffs, the window's closed. Okay, I want to talk about the team that the Bulls actually did beat in the 9-10 play-in game to face for the right to play Miami, and it was the Atlanta Hawks on Wednesday. Man, the Hawks are just so disappointing. The future for them just looks so bright, right? When Trae Young and them made the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021, but now it's like 3 years later, and they struggled to play 500 basketball sets. And Trae Young was asked about it because there's been a lot of feeling after that loss that the Trae Young era in Atlanta might be over. And he was asked about if he wants to return to the Hawks next season. And Trae Young said, quote, "I want to be here, but I also want to win." And many people are suggesting that it's so funny because the Bulls-Hawks segment on Thursday was all about the Lakers, that Trae Young and the Lakers should, make a trade. And the betting favorite right now for Trae Young, if he does land somewhere this offseason, is the Lakers. I'm not surprised by this. This has been a rumor since last year in this deadline that the Lakers could pursue Trae Young even in this offseason when they get some more picks. But you guys know me. I am as the official couch GM of the Los Angeles Lakers, I got to give my take on this. And what basketball sense does Trae to the Lakers make? Have we learned anything from the Russell Westbrook deal? Now, Trae is a much better player than what Russell Westbrook was when they traded for him. But it would be another situation where the Lakers ignore, and I've been preaching this for the last 3 years, ignore what's made them successful in 2020. LeBron, AD, and a bunch of great role players. The Lakers' biggest flaw right now is not that they're without a third star. It's never been that. It's that they're missing a guy who can both defend on the perimeter at a high level, and you also feel comfortable passing the ball to. Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, they're two starting guards. Great offensive pieces, not the right athlete to be championship point of attack defenders. Not Taurean Prince, not Rui Hachimura. Jared Vanderbilt, who's hurt right now but on the roster, is actually one of the better perimeter defenders in this association. But you don't trust him with the lick to pass the ball to, and Cam Reddish, hell no. They don't have that guy on the roster. But you want Pelinka to gut the roster for Trae instead? One of the smallest guards in the league who's never been known to guard up? Trae Young, by the way, is also very high turnover, just like Russell Westbrook. Trae's been leading the league in turnovers since he was drafted in 2018. That's 100 more than second place Luka Doncic. And the Lakers with D'Lo, AR, AD, LeBron, tied for 10th worst in turnovers per game. They don't need more turnovers on this roster like they inherited in 2022. But I like Trae, and he's a great player. So what are his strengths? Because he is better than Russell Westbrook. Well, Trae's an elite scorer. He is. He can score 3 levels and has one of the best ranges in the league. But the Lakers, since Darvin Ham stopped scamming the starting lineup, have been a top 5 offense, top 5 3-point shooting team. Every single player on the starting 5 right now can get 20 plus in a given night. But what makes Trae Young so special is while also being an elite scorer, he's one of the best playmakers in the league. But AR, D'Lo, Bron can all play make. The Lakers don't need scoring. The Lakers don't need playmaking. I think a lot of people in the media and on Twitter are confused who are suggesting this trade is that the Lakers are not this top-tier championship contender because they're lacking an additional shot-creating playmaker. They have additional shot creators below LeBron and Anthony Davis, that being D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. They just don't have the 3-and-D guys. Now, the move for Trae Young would make sense if the Lakers know Bron's out the door this offseason, because then you get Anthony Davis, a duo partner for the foreseeable future to be a perennial playoff team in a tough Western Conference. Trae Young becomes that perimeter scorer alongside AD, and AD is this defensive anchor, ideal pick-and-roll teammate for Trae Young. It works out, right? But if Bron isn't going anywhere, then trading for Trae Young puts the Lakers right back in the same grave that they dug in the Russell Westbrook deal, where they got all their roster, they got those championship 3-and-D guys for a third star that they don't need. Again, this isn't an indictment on Trae Young. He is better than Russell Westbrook, and I like Trae Young. I think he's still a franchise player. He's one of the best point guards in the league, but the Lakers need to stick to the formula. It worked in 2020. Bron, AD, and a bunch of role players. It worked in 2021, but Anthony Davis got hurt in the postseason. They panicked, blew it all up for a third star because they thought they needed one, and they've been recovering ever since. They don't need another score playmaker. They have that. They didn't have in 2020. They didn't have another scorer and playmaker beneath LeBron and AD. They had that D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. But what they had in 2020 that they got rid of and they're trying to get back in 2024, 2025, it's the KCP, Alex Caruso, Danny Greens of the world. Guys who can guard at half court, guard your opponent's best players pretty well. And when you swing the rock to in the corner, they can hit that three. Trae Young doesn't help that. You make trades in this league for needs. Trae Young doesn't help needs. Trae Young doesn't play defense. He makes the guards. I think to get Trae Young, you got to trade Austin Reeves and Rui and some picks. It would make the Lakers' backcourt smaller. They would get worse defensively. Trae Young would not be as good of a playmaker because LeBron is still on the court, and they don't need his scoring because they have the scoring. The Lakers need to focus their assets on 3-and-D players this summer, not Trae Young. But I appreciate everyone tuning in to this episode of Some Casual Takes. To stay updated on all things related to the show, follow my social medias. Some Casual Takes is the handle for everything. Until next time, see you.